Good morning, everyone. Here's Coda. Coda, show yourself. Coda. Hey, you. Hi. Are you a good girl? Yes, I'm a good girl. She can stare you down. I tell you what. She looks at you with her blue eyes. Right there. Look at there. Coda. Coda. She's an old girl, too. My daughter takes amazing care of her. She's has some back problems, but she's still, when we go for a walk, oh man, she's out there. She is just out there. Yeah, I know, we're in the suburbs here, all dogs on leashes, you know. I go places where we don't have to keep her on a leash, right? You get to run and have fun, huh? Yes. Okay, it's a cold morning here. Grr. So, I've watched a whole video of Karen's, and her name actually is Karen. Yeah, people started calling me a Karen. I'm going, what? What does that even mean? It's just a name. And again, I mean, how many people are named that? And so now it has this, what do people do out there, right? Well, anyway, I watched the whole thing, and I think her message is really nice. It really is. Sadly, I think that train has come and gone as well. And, after so much time has passed, one just makes other plans. And I think that's what True Mother already has done. So, yeah, well, if the people, I don't call them branches, one of them is an absolute cult. I have it fits every point that consists, or how a cult is described. And the other one, well, first of all, yeah, I have to tell you, Karen, no, Hyunjin was not kicked out either. He left. And no one was kicked out. They decided to disobey their parents and started doing their own thing. And here's the thing, I have no problem with that. I mean, who wants to be home all the time? I mean, kids who, until they're 30, 40, 50 years old are still hanging around their parents' home. Okay, well, but then also, we were taught through the divine principle and true parents that 3 generations should live in the same home. Yeah, okay, if you got a big enough home, but there's plenty of people out there who live in very small places, and there are 3 generations in there. Okay, so, again, 2 sides. How do you want to look at it? Okay. I guess it depends if you stay home with your parents, you actually take care of them, help them, right, and learn from them, and then eventually, when the time is right, then they kind of go in the in-law apartment, right, and live the rest of their lives out there and enjoy the family, their children and grandchildren. And the second generation, the children, take over, or continue on. Yes. Yeah. There are guidelines for all that. I think that no, Hyunjin will never be the successor anymore. Once True Mother passes away, Jungpyeong will be in good hands. The teachings of true parents and their legacy that they're leaving behind here on earth will be in good hands of a 3rd generation true mother. True parents have already decided on now. The 2nd generation has lost its footing. It's not going to happen. And then these 2nd generations are going to have to unite under that 3rd generation, if they like it or not. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's how it works. How many times did God have to change his plan? You think true parents can't do that? You harp around in all their words and this, that. You think they can't do that? Yes, they can. I have an example in my own family. After my parents got divorced. Thank God. My father, my biological father, was a drunk, big time drunk. And when he was drinking, he became abusive. Not to us children, but to our mother. Okay. And after 10 years of marriage, okay, there was 7 years of marriage and 3 years of separation, my mom decided it was time for a divorce. I tell you what, sometimes I look at my parents and I look at her parents and I'm going, man, what are the parallels here? My mom was a nun for 8 years. She entered the convent at 14 just to study French. And then she, with her own childhood, this and that, there was a nun in there that she really loved. It was like became this mother figure, and she didn't want to leave that mother figure and entered the convent because of that. And decided, I'm going to just give my life to Jesus, and I can be around this loving person, a love she's never experienced before. At the age of 22, she decided that wasn't quite it. She kind of had a revelation. She had to have me, you see. God has a plan, always has a plan. And she had a revelation or a dream or something that she needed to get married and have children. So she left the convent about 22 and met the first man she met. Oh dear. It's all good. It's all just part of restoration. That's how it is. If people would know the story of my father and how he ended up the way he did, maybe one would have a little bit more compassion for him. I sure didn't. I didn't really think one way or another about my father until I realized how abusive he was to my mother, and then I had to take a stance. And I always stood by my mother. I just did. I did not exclude my father. But when it came down to it, the one that I stood by was my mother. Then, in the ancestor liberation ceremony, where my father, my biological father, had already passed away, it was an amazing experience. I don't know, some people try to make a total mess out of that because of demonym, and the woman, I can't remember her name, that demonym used, and also there, okay, I question that, but good spirits don't possess other people. That's not happen. That doesn't happen. Then there's something wrong. So I don't think, and that woman ended up making some of her own decisions, which weren't all that, okay, all right. But I went there. I say, again, why do you go to these places? Why do you spend the money to do that? In my family, that has made an amazing difference. And the experience that I had with my father in spirit world, my biological father in spirit world, was incredibly beautiful. Okay. So my mom got married again after many, many years. And I have to admit that the childhood that I had with just our mom and my siblings, it was wonderful. It was just, I loved it. But I was 14 when she remarried, and I didn't want my mom to end up just by herself. Once we grow up, I was going to stay home. I had plans. I can only speak for myself. I cannot speak for my siblings. And when my dad passed away, they had built a home, a beautiful Swiss chalet, on ancestral land of my stepfather's. When he passed away, he left everything to his 2 children. He already had 2 children as well, and left us 3 completely out of the will. My mom kind of, again, it's like one of those things, and I don't care. I didn't work for that house. I didn't work for that land. I'm not sore about that, but my mom did get some information, found out she could change that will if she wants to, because she's the surviving widow. we ended up all deciding, including the daughter, who is will be the administrator of it all once my mom passes away, of my stepdad, that we'll see that we kind of come to an agreement, and that is that. And then we'll see what happens when our mom actually passes away. Yeah, so, she should have gone with the will of her husband. Okay, well, says who? You? My mom, if she's the surviving part of a marriage, she gets to do whatever she wants to here on earth with the possessions that they acquired together. And true mother has the same right. And she has the same right to choose, and she has the right, the absolute 100% right from heaven, from her heavenly parent, from the good spirit world, to decide who will be the best candidate to take over Chungpyeong. And the legacy of the true parents. There is a possibility that if Hyungjinim's son, the one that has been also appointed supposedly after Hyungjinim to be the successor, if he reunites with his grandmother and just tells Dad that, you know what, this ain't working. We're not doing that. You're missing some points here that are really important. And one is, I need to have a relationship with my grandmother. My true grandmother. Could be. I don't know. I guess time will tell. Yeah. So, and then, once that happens, and the succession has been already, as I said, I think that's already decided. And the sons ain't going to just get in there and have that be ironclad. So, the rod of iron will come down on you. Oh my gosh, Daniela, stop it. I know, right? I can't help it. This is such a circus. And then Hyunjinim's family, and he has plenty of kids. He can appoint someone for his branch to continue his stuff. I don't know. Are they doing anything, them kids? I have no idea. Don't ever hear anything. So, Karen, maybe you have some ideas on what are Hyunjinim's kids doing. They must be old enough to have, be married and have kids too now. And in Hyunjinim's group, I don't know. So maybe the son will take over there and it can continue. I don't know. Will the son continue this tirade? Or, well, I don't know. So there you go. Everybody can have their own successor. One way or another. How about in my family? People are so obsessed with the possessions that they acquire here, this, that, they forget that. Don't you just want the best for the people around you? That's what I want for my children. I did not raise them so that they then become disillusioned with life and start bickering around on me. I raised them so that they have, if they choose to do so, have a good marriage, have children, be a good mother or father, have good relationships with people around them. And the number one thing, that they know who to thank for that they know of that higher power, God, our Heavenly Father, our Heavenly Parent, and that they also know who to thank for the foundations that have been laid for a good life for them, if they choose to follow a path of goodness. And that's true parents. Anyway, yeah. Thanks, David. At least have something good to say, don't you? Honey and vinegar. I tell you, I actually drink vinegar more often than I do honey, or have honey. Well, vinegar is a lot cheaper, and it's actually quite healthy for you. I make my own vinegar. Okay, you want to know the truth? All right. So I make wine, homemade wine, and sometimes it turns into vinegar. Awfully good vinegar, too. Now, I've said that. Some people out there can say about, the successor. Well, now I mentioned that. You can go and look. Say, oh, whoa, where did you get that from? This and that. I just looked at the whole situation, and I come up with my own ideas on, okay, this is most likely what's going to happen. I don't think that True Mother's going to just let Chung Pyong go to hell. That, she knows. I have to put someone in charge there, in place there, that is 100%. 100%. Stands 100% with true parents and with God's restoration plan, the continued one. First generations are dying out. But there are other still first generations. There's continuously still, right, people who have families that have never received the blessing. They receive the blessing, they become first generations. But eventually, just like with World War I veterans, there aren't many around anymore, are they? A few? Are there any around anymore? Right? Yes, suddenly they're gone. And then the oldest veterans become the ones in World War II, right? Yes, they're starting to kind of, are there any still? Yes, there are still some. And so on. But eventually, us first generations will be gone. I don't want to be remembered. As some of you want to be remembered. So, well, anyway, that's what I have to say. We've got to teach our children well. Right? Yeah, some of you people are just crazy out there. I'm sorry, but it's not just, Again, you want to do your own thing, you want to follow your own thing, you want to have something to say about whatever, go ahead and you do that. Leave True Mother out of it. Leave True Father out of it. Leave True Parents out of it. All you do is making me mad. I said, any of you actually have the guts to come and confront me face to face? I doubt it. Well, anyway, God's love and blessings always. Some of you don't even put a picture or anything, or you put a weird picture, on your little icon, with the common thing and this and that, I've always showed myself. I'd never used a false name. The only reason I had to change my name, Daniela Wooten, to Daniela Rickenbacher is because Facebook put me in jail as well, several times. So if you think you're something special in Facebook jail, who hasn't been there? And I was put there because I put the Lord's Prayer and a veteran who saluted the flag and folded it up and showed respect to his fallen comrades, right? And then I had, I put one about Trump, where I supported Trump. And that all got me in Facebook jail. Posts were removed. Sensitive content. How do you like to see that on the Lord's Prayer? No doubt. Oh, by the way, Facebook doesn't necessarily come and do that to you. You're being reported. That's what happened to me every time. Someone decided, I'm going to report her. Right? I'm going to report her. So go ahead. You can report me too if you don't like what you're seeing here. Right? Yes? Yeah. That's all right. I always find a way to get back in anyway. If Spirit World desires. So as I said, how did I end up in this group? I have no idea. But somehow I did. I accepted it. All right. God's love and blessings always. Have a wonderful day. Oh, last thing. So before Easter, or right around Easter, maybe Saturday, I went for a walk with the children. And I thought, it'd be kind of nice if we'd have some bunnies running around. At the farm right now, there are rabbits running around all over the place. They're just coming out. They're having their babies, this and that. So you see a lot of rabbits when you go for a walk. So I thought, kind of nice, to have. And this morning, yesterday I saw it already, and this morning again, we have a rabbit that's running forth and back here. A couple of days late for Easter, but all I have to do is just say, oh, kind of be nice. Give the order to good spur oral. Yeah, we can do that. Let's see. Place a rabbit here for her and the children around Easter. Yes. Yes, see? Yeah. You don't understand that, do you? Well, okay. Well, maybe someday you will. God's love and blessings always. I hope you have a wonderful day. Make it a really wonderful day. How do you do that? Don't badmouth other people.